So, as you guys know, this is training week 1. We're just running over fundamentals because the meme season hasn't really given us an opportunity to play. As you could tell, it's target behavior and visual indication by Delta. We have to thank Delta for this. He's been help.
Wanting us to do that now?
Thank him now, yes.
A round of applause.
Yeah, round of applause.
There we go.
All right. So basically, it's a quick overview. I'm going to run through it very quickly because, like I said, this is fundamentals, stuff that we should know, but good to brush up on. Difference in dodging techniques. Enough. To help understand dodging behaviors, how to shoot at dodging techniques, and to help understand visual indications with consumables in use.
Am I supposed to be watching something?
It should be a mushroom. Then other indications. As I said, it's pretty realized that, as I said, an overview of stuff. I said techniques and behaviors of which we are doing. Some do most of them. Most players only do 1 or 2. The really good ones switched up so often that it's very hard to decide what they do next and throw off a lot of shots. The most common tactic for most destroyers and fast cruisers is the slow down and turn. Now, do be aware that this could be also going into you because this also, people always assume that you're going to turn away. So if they're not detected or being detected or can go undetected, they might just turn into you and start smoking and stuff like that. So this is, like I said, one of the most basic and honestly the most used dodging technique that you will possibly find in the server. Any questions? Nope. Moving on. Now, the next one that's pretty common is the full stop. So where you just merely, even if go to reverse kind of thing, and hold it for a few seconds and then keep going forward. So you just full stop, slow down. It throws off a lot of shells because people are thinking that you're going to go faster or further than you already are.
Just to comment on that last one again. The additional point to a full stop is, as it's written, sometimes when you're dodging, when you're like slowly going back and forth, after a couple times of that, sometimes you just hit the brakes and you don't move. And that throws off a lot of people's aim because they expect you to go forward and backward, and then you just don't.
Oh, that right. The weaving. This one is kind of, I don't see too many players using this one too much because it requires them to be correct. 1 second. So this one requires a kind of a mitigation of knowing the boat. So this is more for destroyers that have a really quick turn radius. But again, this also applies to cruisers that have a fast turning radius. So basically you weave one way and then you do the other. And it tends to throw off a lot of people's shells. And then as the indication, the vroom method. If you're really fast and have the speed on your side, just holding the W key because people tend to misjudge your fire, even 1 or 2 salvos in. With this combined with, let's just say, the stopping method, the full stop, is very powerful because they don't know when you're going to full stop or you're just going to keep heading straight forward.
Interesting.
I would also say, with all of these methods, like a lot of the time, obviously boat depending, but constantly adjusting your speed or constantly turning, not just like when you're firing, will throw a lot of people's shots off. And I mean, obviously, eventually, sometimes you're just going to take that hit. But say if you slow down going into a turn, or you're going slower and then you speed up and going to a turn, that will throw a lot off because number one, they might predict your turn, but they may not predict your speed, and vice versa. So you might still get hit, but instead of taking like a full hit, you might get an overpin, or I don't know. If you're in the Pan American cruiser, it really doesn't matter what angle you're at. You're going to get citadeled anyway. But with a lot of ships, you can throw stuff off and survive a little bit better.
I've gotten away with a full stop a lot of times. I just think you're just going to go forward.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Bringing it back. So like I said, there's more than this. As Delta did say earlier, sometimes the back and forth method wasn't on here. It's a method. Like I said, these are just.
I don't like that one.
These are the most common that you probably will see in game day to day. Like I said, there's more, but like I said, this whole we're trying to make this brief and so we can get on. Is there any questions?
Would tactical beaching count as the full stop one?
That would count, but you also have to be aware that sometimes people are aware that you're about to beach and they kind of wait for the shot.
Yeah.
So if you are gonna tactically beach, try to do it when you are either not showing side or that you can disappear with the tactical beach.
Yeah.
So don't beach when you're 8 kilometers away from them?
No, that's when you reverse.
Yeah. So, as you can tell, visual indicators. There are many indicators in games that speed, consumable are being used that not many people know or do know and tend to overlook it because sometimes they're not DCP the flood or someone's DCP the damaged turret and you won't know it because it's just a damaged turret. That's a good example. So if you see these little strobe lights going off, that means that they did use a DCP. So these are good indication if you do see it saying, hey, I knocked out his turret. He DCP'd or he's DCPing his knocked out turret. It's a good indication that, hey, maybe we just focus for a fire or we focus to see if we can get another knockout turret or anything like that. And this would be a huge on any boat. Healing. Little sparks on the side, meaning like little repairmen are out there while you're fighting. A good indication on this one. So you know that the heal's going off, and maybe, hey, we can probably get a fire on them. Or when you see it go out, maybe you get a fire and they don't have a heal, and they might have to use a DCP because of that reason. Another indication of focusing fire. And hopefully everyone understands the correlation I'm getting here. Consumable for engine boost. So big indication, not engine boost, engine boost. Consumables.
Can you scroll back up for a second?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have a question, you can ask it.
No,
If it looks like it's rolling coal, it's speed boost.
Yeah.
The second one's got Snoop Dogg at the helm.
Yeah.
I was just reading the last sentence.
So another combat instructions. These are for your Satsumas, your Kandes, your
San Martins.
San Martins. Yeah, any San Martins, all the ones that have the funny F key. If you see this little light, it's a good indication that they're using their F key.
It's going to be important on Wisconsin.
Exactly, it's going to be in Wisconsin, on San Martin, on what's the other tier 10 that is used? I forget the other one.
No, it's not Castilla. I don't remember.
But
So
like I
has
said,
a burst. It's not.
Yeah.
It's the other funny button.
yeah. So it's just like I said, this is a good indication
And
Maybe,
also-
hey, I shouldn't go broadside to a Wisconsin, or hey, has his funny button. Maybe I should go dark, or maybe I should try to see if we can get some focus on him because he won't have heal for a bit, and that's the time to take him out.
Also to note with combat instructions, I have it written down, but every single ship with combat instruction, their lights are located at the funnels.
Yeah, good to know.
And trust me, you will be able to see them go off.
Yeah, they look like lighthouses.
So this is a good indication with a reversing with engine boost, reversing normally. You see how the stack is going crazy back? 1/4. 1/2 full for standard moving forward. You see how the smoke is further out?
Oh, that's neat. I didn't know the tragic scaled that much.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it
So
does.
this is again indications of maybe you're not running the which mod is that? The one that tells you this
Wow.
running lights. But the running lights is only for if they're going forward, if they're going back. It does not give you exact speed or if there's half or full. So
What's that?
so then we're gonna look at the image of Conde again. Notice the following: when a Conde is reversing, the front of the ship has no water splash,
Mhm.
and moving backwards.
Yeah.
You can see the white water wake is in front of the ship rather than behind it.
The next picture has a better view of it.
Yeah.
These ones here, yeah. I actually didn't realize this. I knew about the funnel thing, but this one was
It's another good indication.
cool.
The water, because if I know people here have calm waters, this is a good indication.
Does
Do you
this
not see it on calm waters?
You can't. No, calm
It's
waters
like
do.
more clear.
It's more clear because again, it's
interesting.
calm waters.
I hate that mod, but maybe I'll give it a try.
That's it.
Man, it makes Citadel shots easier.
Yeah. So it's just basically stuff like that. Stuff that are basically indicating if you can't tell by the smokestack, you should be able to tell by the water. And this is stuff that I said not everyone might know because the water is kind of a high level indication, but like I said, the smoke isn't really. Usually, I can tell by the smoke.
I use I quick select my targeting key. I think it's on X for me. I don't know if that's default, but I'll hit it on and
It
off
is X.
times in rapid fire, and it gives me a good idea how fast they're going. But that takes some getting used to. This is a lot more like you see it and there it is, you know.
Yeah. So, is there any questions? Please get to Delta or me. We can answer as many as we can, hopefully. Again, I do thank Delta for this. Like I said, this was going to be a quick overview. It wasn't going to be too complicated. It wasn't going to be too long unless someone has questions. You are free to ask your questions if you have any.
You think that you're going to be using the call out for combat instructions?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you said, what is there, 2 boats, 3 boats that has that? Is that right?
So, the combat instructions are going to be caller dependent. So your combat instructions are not going to be yours in this season coming. So just pay in mind that it's like any time that you would think about using it, don't, because it's not yours.
I have something that might be worth tacking on.
Go for it.
Yeah,
You can go ahead, Tier, if you want to finish what you're
I was
asking.
just thinking maybe just shorten it to CI. I don't know. But
It's kind of weird that maybe, I don't know, we're gonna like I said, we're gonna have to play test with it when they do go live a week of, and we'll figure it out as we go, guys. Honestly,
So I won't drag it out too far, but the thing that I would add on is that knowing the class of the enemy ship, you can make some pretty reasonable assumptions about what they're going to be having as far as captain skills. So a lot of times you can get away with shots on battleships that you won't be able to get away with on cruisers because cruisers are going to have priority target or incoming fire alert. Marceaus and Kleberts are likely going to be running incoming fire alert, and knowing the resources that are most likely going to be ran on these ships will allow you to do things like, for example, if I'm firing against a cruiser, I'm assuming that he's running priority target. I might target him at the very last second before I fire my shot, so he doesn't have that one pop up until the shells are in the air, or I will shoot one. I'll just single click and then see how he tries to dodge and adjust the rest of my shot accordingly. There's a lot of that stuff that you can play around with just by thinking of, okay, what's the class of ship that I'm shooting at, and are they likely to be running incoming fire alert or priority target?
I don't think most light cruisers do run incoming fire alert, so because they tend to get brittled hard or priority targeting. It's one or the other.
Yeah, you can
It-
you can see when you target a cruiser, a lot of times good players will start immediately preemptively getting in a position to dodge effectively. And that's why you can kind of play around with, like, sometimes I just spin around and target people just to throw them off, just to put that number on their screen for a second and make them hesitate. Or, target them for a second, pop one shot, wait until they start to dodge, and then fire the rest of my salvo once they're on a course that they can't change as easily now. But knowing the ship that you're looking to shoot at and keeping that in your mind can help you to know, how much wiggle room you have with that, or if you need to be a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, this is just the fundamentals of dodging. So, like I said, we'll do a quick overview because I think there's how many people here? 1, 36. We got enough. We got enough for 3 on 3. Sorry, 7 on 3. All right. So that is it. Phantom, please end the recording.